Hi there, welcome back to Diagonal Move. My name's Neil, and today we're going to take a look at Invaders from Dimension X, which is the first in the Dimension X series of games. Having a bit of trouble with the light here. It's a solo game that has a two-player option, but today I'm going to be playing it solo. It's a light-hearted, probably introductory level. I'd describe it sci-fi hex encounter war game from Hermann Luttmann, who also designed the rest of the games in this series, Space Vermin from Beyond and Attack of the 50-Foot Colossi. He's also done games like At Any Cost and Dawn of the Zeds and a few other games around Gettysburg, like The Second Day at Gettysburg, for example. The game is deliberately quite chaotic and quite random. It's about a group of space marines trying to fight off an unknowable alien horde called the Chaots. And both of the scenarios that come with the game, we're going to be playing the second scenario here, are essentially a run the gauntlet, hold off the enemy until you do an objective type scenario. In this particular scenario 2, our aim is to find the alien home dimension by warping through the warp hole just there on the map. Having achieved that, we then have to warp 3 of our units, our combat units, through that dimension into the enemy's home dimension. There are some interesting and relatively unique things about this game, at least in my experience. So let's have a quick look at the counters before we go too much further into the game. The first thing that we'll see with the counters is that, well, firstly, they're homemade print and play counters, so they wouldn't normally be wonky like that. We have a unit ID. In this case it's Marine Squad. There's 4 or 5 different types, and we'll get into each of them as we go, like heavy weapons, special operations, that kind of thing. The number at the bottom left is the combat factor, and this is the number of dice that you roll during combat. The 3 in an arrow is the movement points, and as with many of these games, the terrain has different movement points to cross, with lava being impassable, but mostly speaking, it's either 1 or 2, sometimes a half if it's a road, and so on. And that's the value that you spend up to move your Marine Squad. Some units, like the special operations and the scouts, do have a special jump move, but again we'll get to that when we come through the game itself. The 4 in yellow is the defensive factor, and this is the number that you have to roll above in order to cause a hit, whether that's on the Marines. In the case of the game would need to roll a 5 or a 6 to damage this Marine, or whether it's you fighting the Chaots, you'd need to roll the number above their defensive factor. So it's pretty straightforward as these war games go. And usually for this type of game, the units are very rarely eliminated. They start off stunned with a negative modifier to their combat factor and their movement, and then they're what's known as paralysed. What the Chaot race does in this game is it takes prisoners to take back to the home dimension. It doesn't actually eliminate or kill off the Marine Squad in any way, unless it drops onto them from the home dimension when they enter the map. That's basically the only way you'll ever kill off a Marine Squad. So they're taking prisoners effectively in this game, which is quite unusual. Normally you'd have something eliminated fairly regularly. The Chaots themselves, before we get into the Chaots, the Marines do have a full and reduced side, except it's not reduced in the way it is in many other games. It's simply out of ammo, and that affects their range and the ability to use their weapons, which we will come into during the game. But the Chaots then have a similar setup. They do have their combat factor, so 2 dice in this case. You'd need to roll above a 3, so a 4, 5 or a 6 to damage this warrior. But not always, because that number has a question mark, And if you score 1 or 2 hits on this alien race, you have to draw what's called an alien manifestation counter. And the number on the manifestation counter replaces the number on the chit itself. So in this case, it would drop from 3 to 2. Many of them increase the defensive factor, though. And 3 hits, and you've eliminated the warrior. These warriors do have, and so do the overlords, which are the commanders of this unit type. They do have a dormant side. They're essentially not really doing anything, and that will come into the game at the pull of a chit from the cup, because the aliens themselves, they don't activate. There's no movement factor on here. They don't activate in a kind of I-go-you-go type sequence. Instead, what they do is have a number, and these numbers represent numbers on these activation chits, which may say numbers 8 to 12 will do an energy volley, or numbers 1 to 6 may do something else. And you pull these at random out of the cup, and you do what that action entails. And each of those actions has its own process to follow, which I've got on this piece of paper that I printed out. And things like a frenzy attack or an alien rush attack, drop pods, and so on. And you pull one of those from a cup for the alien turn in each turn of the game. Winning the game for the humans, the Marines, is a case of achieving the scenario victory condition for what's called an overwhelming victory. In this case, it is sending those Marines through the warp hole, and if you manage to do that before the end of the game, instantly win. If we fail to do that as Marines, the Chaots get to pull one of these Chaots mission goals. There's a 6 or so in the cup, and at the end of the game, after all the activation chits are gone, you pull one of these out of the cup, and if they have achieved the victory conditions that relate to the mission goal pulled, the aliens will win. If that doesn't happen, then there's a number of things that you look at in the scenario detail to tell you what type of victory you've won, or even if you have suffered a defeat. Okay, I think we're about ready to go, and it's a very simple sequence of pulling things out of the cup and playing the game based on what they say, really. So let's just put everything back where it should be, and let's go from there. Okay, so the Marines start first, and in order to activate the wormhole and to find the alien dimension, we need to move our scouts to that hex, specifically that hex, and then in a later turn, when they start their turn at that hex, we can do a recon action to try and find the dimension, which involves rolling dice. There's a lot of dice rolling in this game. It's quite random. So this scout here starts at 216. Looks something like that. We can do a jump pack move, which is not relevant here really, because we can walk to where we need to be. And so we will walk him one of his movement points onto the road out of the building, and then on the road it's half a movement point per hex, so it's 1 and then 2 to the edge of the wormhole. So that counter has been the next piece that we will move the heavy weapons guy here with the red stripe on him. These roll 5 dice, but they have a slower movement onto the stronghold, which gives us a certain benefit and a good field of fire, because although line of sight is generally friendly in this game, you cannot fire along the hex sides of buildings. So we pop him into the stronghold. The Marine will move 1, 2, and then into the stronghold there. We can shoot and fire, but we're not going to do that in this particular instance. Going to position them a little bit better first in the game. I'm just going to move some of these counters for ease. I might move the scout. Actually, I'll show you the jump pack move. Scouts can jump pack, and basically you roll a die and then read off the table. I would like to fly to hex 334 to be with the rest of the units and do recon missions and so on and so forth, but I have rolled a 1, and that's pretty awful as these things go, because that means I have malfunctioned and I need to move to a random hex. And the random hex, you roll 3 dice, which in this case are 3 3s, and those 3 numbers are the hex that you move to. So hex 333. However, because we malfunctioned, we are now stunned, and you have to perform a rallying action in a later turn to try to flip that over. I think everybody's moved apart from the HQ, and the HQ has a special action called a recon, and in that you roll a die, and if you roll 3+, you get to choose some reinforcements. I've rolled a 6, which is fantastic, and we've got a bunch of reinforcements here, and the type of reinforcements I'm going to choose is a special ops, because these guys have a fantastic gun called a bump gun, which is the only real special weapon in the game, but it can, if it all goes well, immediately eliminate a chaos unit. It could do other things as well, but we'll be hopeful that we will get a chaos unit. Now you come onto the board in specified locations and you roll a die to see which of those locations you go in. A 1, 2 or a 3 is a dedicated location. The 4 to 6 is a choice of locations, and I've rolled a 2. And location number 2 for reinforcements is hex 241. So my Spec Ops warrior soldiers come in at 241, which is up here. If you have to land in a hex that is occupied, you cannot come in as reinforcements. Now that special operations guy can move as normal, so I think what we'll do is we'll move him into there with their movement. And that, I believe, is the end of the Marines' turn, and we will not shoot the heavy weapons just yet. See what happens. So, time for the chaos to turn. We pull one of these chits out of the cup, and we have pulled reboot. And reboot may not have any effect, but that is how you recover aliens from their dormant phase. And no, you have to roll 1 die for every dormant alien on the map. There is no dormant alien, so that is not applicable this time. There is an end phase where we check victory conditions, but we haven't won anything at the moment, so we move on to the next turn and the Marine players phase. And the game is going to continue in this way until all the chits have run out in the cup. Okay, let me start by moving the scout into the wormhole, and that is where they will stop. You can only do 1 action with each Marine figure. You can do one of the 4 basic actions, which are move, shoot. I've forgotten. Typically, there's move, shoot, various types of move, various types of shooting, but you can only do either or. There's move and shoot at a reduced rate for both. And the 4th one completely escapes you at the moment. The 4th one is a special action, which is where things like the reinforcements and so on come in. One of the special actions is a rally, so you roll a die, and with a 5+, you recover 1 step on your stunned counter. So we'll do that with that injured scout unit. We rolled a 3. Not very good. So that's their turnover. We will also fire with our heavy weapons that's hiding in that stronghold. Doesn't give it a offensive buff, but there's a nice field of fire there, all 5 dice, at the Chaos Warrior who has a defensive number of 3 with a question mark. So at the moment we need to roll 3 dice at 4, 5 or 6 to eliminate that soldier. And we have rolled 2 4s and a 6, which means that the soldier is dead. And the numbers of dead alien warriors is one of the ways you determine the less desirable victory conditions. I think you have to get 12 to qualify for a victory in some circumstances. That is not as easy to do as it may sound. Okay, let me shoot the Marine squad, which has 4 combat dice, against the Overlord, who is one of the officers. Now, if we shoot through the rough, into the rough, that's rough there, that brown patch. So I believe we lose a combat die. I will just double check that, because no, it says if it crosses inside a forest, building or lava, it cannot be conducted. I guess we just lose 1 dice. So rather than 4, it doesn't block the line of sight or anything, so we roll 3 die, hoping to get 5 or a 6. And we hope that, because we have a 4 for the Overlord unit. And we are fortunate enough to have rolled 2 5s and a 6, which is awesome. That is really cool. Which means our Overlord is dead. Now, killing an Overlord is special because you get to draw one of these mission chits at random and remove it from the game, thereby narrowing down the possible ways that the Chaots can beat you. Okay, we're off to a good start, it seems. What's next? Let's shoot the special ops with their bump gun. Now, the bump gun has a maximum range of 6. It's the only weapon in the game that does have a range limit, and we're going to shoot at this warrior here. Shoot straight along that line there. And roll a die. On a 1, there's a misfire. 2, there's an energy recoil. 3 is beamed. 4 to 6, the enemy's vaporized. So let's hope our luck continues, and we rolled a 1, which is pants, frankly. So that means our special operations guy, who's just been parachuted in, is out of ammo. Now he cannot use his bump gun and can only perform any combat if they are adjacent to an alien warrior, which has actually reduced the usefulness of that unit by 100-fold. The only way to recover an out of ammo status is to bring a logistics unit on and have a logistics unit perform a special resupply action. We don't have any of those on the board at the moment, so let's think about getting one on the board by using the HQ to do reinforcements, and that is a roll. I'm aiming for +3. We've rolled 3, which is good. Oh, sorry, 3 plus. We rolled a 3, which is excellent. And what I'll do is I will choose the second HQ unit, because the HQs can add support to things like logistics, stunned rolls, rallying from stunned, and also the warp and so on. But if you've only got 1, you can't reinforce at the same time as you do that. So let me roll. Rolled a 4, which means it's a choice of locations to be reinforced in, and I believe it would be sensible for me to place my queue. Landing zone 1 is 522, which is around here. Landing zone 2 is there. Landing zone 3 is 461, which is just there. I think it would be sensible if we pop it just there, on the right side of course. We can immediately use that unit as normal. So I will reinforce again, and this time I will try and bring on a recon unit. We rolled a 5, and the logistics unit, will land in zone 1, which is 522. These guys are actually quite different. They are not the best at fighting. They start on the out of ammo side, which means they can only fight against an adjacent unit. Out of ammo doesn't necessarily mean they're out of ammo, it just means their main weapon is ineffective and they can only use their close combat weapons. There's no melee as such in this game. If it did ever have a out of ammo roll, which is a double 1 on any single roll, it would actually have no combat effectiveness at all. But for now, we can place it here and use it as a logistics, and we'll move it 1 and then 2. The movement into the building has a... No, there's no terrain penalty for moving into the building, so we'll just move him into the building like so. We'll try our luck now with this Marine here. He's a just standard Marine unit. 4 die against the Overlord. I hope we roll 3 5s or 6s. I'm not sure if we'll do this again, but we'll try. No, just 2 5s. So a 3 and a 1. So now we pull one of the dimensional chits out of the cup. And we've got a 3. So that Overlord, for the rest of the game now, will have a defensive number of 3. So he actually got weaker. Heavy weapons. I'm not sure whether to fire that guy or to move him into a better location. I think I will move the field of fire through the forest is not the best, so let's move back 1 so that we are... But then he was in a building. Oh, that's tricky, isn't it? Let's just move back 1 so we can cover both angles. Not that the chaots are necessarily going to move in a way that we expect, but let's see how we go. That one moved. Spec Ops moved. All done. Time for a activation for the chaos. Alien Rush, and it's 7, and all counters with the number of 7, or the monolith plus everything within 3 of those counters. So that's the Overlords and the special alien monolith, which is not on the board at the moment. But in this case, we have 1 Overlord down the bottom and an Overlord here, and then this unit is within 3. So we have 3 units activated. But what does Alien Rush do? Good question. Alien Rush will move to the nearest eligible Marine and conduct a combat. Now, eligible means they can't cross the lava, which is this kind of red blob of raspberry jam mark down here. They can't cross that to get to their target. Not applicable. So we're just going to move them to the nearest Marine and conduct combat. And it's exactly the same for these guys as it is for the Marines. Basically just roll the dice, aim to hit above the combat number. So 5 die for the Chaos Warrior here, Warrior number 11, and we start with the highest numbered warrior and then move downwards. He is going to roll 5 dice, aiming to hit 5s and 6s on the heavy weapons. And we have got 2 hits. 2-5, roll 2 5s, 2 hits, and that means he is stunned. If had there been a third, the unit would have been paralysed. The Overlord is 2 dice against the logistics, aiming to get 3 or more, but the logistics guy is in a building, which means we reduce the die for the Chaos Overlord by 1, so just 1, aiming to get higher than 2. You rolled a 5. That unit is also stunned. Not ideal. And then finally, this one, 2 against the HQ unit there. No modifiers. We have rolled 1 4, which is above the number required to stun the HQ. Now, often when you get games with stunned results and so on, they may be out of the game, but in this particular game, they're not. They still act as active units. They still count as an active, and a unit that can be activated. They just have a reduced effectiveness. Paralysed units cannot do anything unless they are rallied. Okay. So let's straighten everything up and move on to the next turn. It's the Marine's turn again. The scout that is sitting right there in the centre of the wormhole is going to roll 2 dice. If he rolls a double, he will have discovered the alien dimension. The HQ unit is going to commit support to that reconnaissance roll, enabling the scout to roll a second time. So the first one we roll, no good. Second time, no good. That's a bit frustrating. We need to roll double in order to find the alien home dimension. Right. What are we going to do? The logistics will move. We have now got a movement of 1, and it's 1, and then it sits on the bridge. He's going to move away. Again, just the 1 with this because of the stunned result. Get away from the aliens. The Marine here is going to fire. I rolled 1 too many dice. Let's do that again. Nope, didn't hit them. Just 1 hit actually, so that is from the right cup, a manifestation token, and it helps if you can see it on the screen. The manifestation token we've pulled is a 5, so that alien's defense has gone up from 3 to 5, which is not good from our point of view. The special ops guy is probably going to move. I'm going to have him move, and I'm going to have him use his jump pack to land here next to the recon unit. So let's roll the die. Let's roll a 3, which has scattered, so we land in an adjacent hex. The only hex we can go into are these 3 here, and you land in the highest numbered. So he moves from there to 432. The heavy weapons guy is probably just going to stay where it is. That one there, that one fired. So let's try to rally the HQ that is sat under there. Need to roll a 5, but we've rolled a 4. That's not great. And try to do the same thing with the scout that is sat underneath that. Rolled a 1, that's even worse. Okay, aliens. This game whizzes by when you get into the flow. It's actually been slowed down somewhat by the fact I'm talking throughout, but you can easily get through a game of this in just over an hour. So shut down. All the even numbers basically become dormant. so long as they're not within 3 of a monolith, but there is no monolith on the board. So all the even numbers are now dormant, which makes them slightly more vulnerable and prevents them from attacking, basically. The Marines' turn again. Okay, let's straighten everything up. Okay, let's try and find that wormhole again. So roll 2 die, we rolled 11. Commit that guy. I should already have decided whether to commit him before, but I will. We've rolled a 2. 2 2s. Excellent. That means we have found the wormhole. So that is the first part of the mission completed. The next part of the mission is to get 3 of our combat units through that wormhole to the alien dimension. What we need to do now is roll, and I'll use these dice here to remind me the number. We need to roll a total of 4 for each person we try to send through. So you can roll a 3 or a 1 or 2 2s again. So actually that's really low odds, isn't it? But that's the number we need to try and achieve. We need to try and hit 4 next time we send people through that wormhole. The soldiers we can send through the wormhole are the HQs, the scouts, the Marines and the special operations. The heavy weapons and the logistics are too big and bulky to easily navigate the vagaries of interdimensional space. So, okay, but at least we've done our first part of the mission. Let's try to rally. We'll just rally the heavy weapons here first. Nope. Then we'll try and rally the scouts. Nope. The HQ, but we do need to -1 for being next to an alien. Nope. And then the logistics. Nope. Wow. So what we'll do now is we'll move the special operations there in an attempt to at least be resupplied next turn. I don't want to fire him. I could fire that guy up there. So okay, so 4 dice at the dormant alien, which is I have to roll 6s, but with the fact that they're dormant gives me a +1. So an extra dice, so 5 dice, aiming to hit 3 6s. It's not likely, is it? We can try. No, just rolled the 1 6. Okay, but no out of ammo rolls, which would be a double 1. All done then. I'm not going to bother risking it, having the heavy weapons out of ammo. Aliens' turn. And this time we have pulled energy volley number 7. All 7s and anything within 3. So that's this one, and this one again. And that's simply a case of shooting. Now, aliens can shoot through anything except lava. It's the basic rule. If they're adjacent, they get an extra die. So here they roll 3 die, aiming to hit above a 3. And we have, oh dear, 2 5s and a 4. Meaning our HQ unit there is stunned, paralysed. That's not cool. The Overlord's shooting into the building, which is going to actually reduce his firepower to 1, and he misses. The warrior there has 5 die against heavy weapons, I think, and that's going to be a 3. Is it 3? It's a 4. 2 hits, a 5 and a 6. 5 and a 6, which means our heavy weapons guy is paralysed because of the stunned result previously. Gosh. Okay, the Marine's turn. Right. Let's try and unfreeze our Heavy weapons. We're 4. Unfreeze the can't, because he's paralysed and next to an alien. He has to have a roll of 6. That's not worth doing. We're going to need to move the logistics guy next to him to get the +2 to the rally roll for being logistics. Let's move him here, but that does mean he cannot supply him now with any weapons. But what we could do is we could shoot and scoot and shoot, which means we can move. No, we can't reach. Shoot and scoot is moving half movement, shooting with 1 less combat factor, but we can't do that here because we're going to go to there, and that makes it difficult to see. Although I think no, that's not. So I think all we'll do this turn is we will try and send the scout through the wormhole, but we will do reinforcements here, not an assist. So let's hope for a 2 2s or a 1 and a 3, and we've rolled a 3, which is pants. So he can't go. He's going to do a reinforcements. So +3, roll a 4, which means we can get a guy in, and we're going to get the special operations in again with their bump gun and a landing zone of our choice. And I think that landing zone of our choice this time is going to be landing zone 3. No, it can't do landing zone 3. Someone's in landing zone 3. So it's going to have to be landing zone 1, which is hex number 522, just here, right next to the alien overlord. Perhaps not the most sensible place to be, but because usually that's not a great place to be, but if the aliens were to attack back. But for now we will just shoot. We've rolled a 3, which means the bump gun beams the alien to a random hex. So 3 dice, numbers correspond to the hex it moves to. So that's hex number 251. So this guy bounces over to wherever 251 is there. The Marines will stay put for now. We'll try our hand at shooting 5 dice here at the dormant warrior. No, didn't do anything to it. Didn't get an out of ammo result. And I think it's the aliens' turn. So aliens have pulled the multi-phase nullifier, which is a additional token, lasts on the board for 1 whole turn, and basically with a monolith there is a 6 hex paralysation field. Without a monolith, as in this case, there's a 4 hexes paralysation field. So we'll roll 3 die, place the nullifier on the board. Any Marines within 4 hexes are paralysed. And we've rolled 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1 is here. And the field is like there, around here, so no. We have got away with it that time. Only lasts for a turn, but it does prevent any kind of rallying while it's on the board. But that's all the aliens do that turn. So let us now move to the Marines, who are going to try and send the scout through the wormhole again. And we've rolled 3, remarkably. Would you believe that? 3 again, so no joy. The HQ is going to call for reinforcements. We've rolled a 1, that's terrible. The heavy weapons unit here will attempt to rally and fails. The Spec Ops will shoot at the dormant alien. Rolls a 6, the alien is vaporized, which is fantastic. the HQ here is next to a stunned but active logistics, so he will get a +2 buff to his roll, -1 for being next to the alien. So it's a 5, +2 is 7, -1 is 6, so he's now a stunned HQ, not a paralysed HQ. The logistics unit itself will attempt to rearm or resupply the Special Ops warrior, and so the Special Ops will be resupplied on a roll. Oh no, we don't have to, we can just automatically flip them over, but that is the end of the turn for the logistics unit. The jump pack Marine, we will jump him to 556 if we can. We rolled a 2, which is awful, but we only landed in an adjacent hex, so it's the highest numbered adjacent hex, so 626. He's not going to do anything. No, we may as well try and shoot with that guy at the top there again. Five dice aiming to hit 3 6s again. That's highly unlikely, isn't it? Nope. And it's the aliens' go. This time we have the Overlord's command. Okay, so this is one of a couple of special chits, which makes you roll, sorry, not roll, but do an action and then draw a second chit. And so any alien numbered 7, which is the Overlord's, that one, and that one, and any within 3 conduct an energy volley with an increased combat factor. And then another result, another chit is pulled. So he's going to do a combat factor with 3 die against that HQ. He rolls 3 dice, he's rolled a 6, a 5 and a 2, which paralyses him again. Nothing within 3, but he's going to shoot at him with 3 die. Oh, within a stronghold, so -1. No hits, that's pretty good. Okay, that's not bad. But we do need to draw a second activation. Drop pods. The aliens are coming. So I roll a die. I've rolled 1. It's not too bad. So we pull a alien at random from the chit cup. Rolled an alien warrior valued at 2 or numbered at 2. Roll 3 dice. Place the alien in that hex. 4, 6, 5. All these numbers come when I don't need them. Right, okay, so 4, 6, 5, that's where the alien lands. This is the one circumstance where an alien can be eliminated. So an alien can completely eliminate a Marine, because if they land on them, they're eliminated. But we didn't have that in this case, but it's an interesting thing to happen. Okay, the nullifier is removed, and the the Marines are straightened again for their next turn. And we're going to try and get that scout through that hole. Nope. Try again. Nope. Both those guys out of action. What we'll do is show you something I haven't showed you before. The scouts can have a special move, which is a reconnaissance move. So just like they peek their head through a wormhole to try and find any dimension, they can also have a quick look to see what the aliens are planning on doing next. Draw 2 chits, put 1 back in the cup, basically. Okay, let me roll a die, and if we roll basically a 4+, we get the benefit, and we've rolled a 5, so we draw 2 activation chits and pick 1. But we do that when the activation happens, so I'll just place that here to remind myself. So he's moved. Special operations jumped last turn, didn't they? So they're going to shoot. Roll a die, roll a 3, beamed the Overlord to another place, and that would be 326. Hex 326 is all over there. Now, if I recall correctly, bump guns are not blocked by terrain if they're within range. So 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe that's correct, but I'm just going to double check. Yep. As long as you're in range, you can shoot. So we're going to shoot at that one that's protected by the forest, and we're going to roll a 3. It's not so good. So he is beamed again, and 1, 2, 5 is the hex he moves to. 1, 2, 5 is just at the top there. Okay, I think we'll stop there for that turn. We'll take 2 chits from the cup and choose one, place one back. Okay, we have got drop pods and energy volley. Energy volley is 8 to 12, so 8 to 12 are going to shoot. All the aliens are going to come in force. There's only one. There's only one number to. Oh, there's 2. Aliens can't shoot through lava, but that one can shoot at him, albeit at a reduced. Let's do that. We don't really want any more aliens on the board right now, so that goes back in the pot. We then roll 5 dice at the Marine here, who is inside a strong point. And if you're inside a strong point, you lose a CF, which means we have 1 hit, so a stunned Marine. And then it's the Marine's turn. Okay, and that scout is going to try and get through that wormhole again. Rolled a 4. Nope, sorry, not a 4. 2 4s. Do we want to get the assist? Should have done it beforehand, really. Okay, won't do that. But what we will do is we'll move the HQ, just the 1, in order to give him a buff of 1 to rally. He's rolled a 6, he didn't need the buff, but he's rallied anyway, which is fantastic. Just wondering if that's actually possible. You may need to start next to them, I'm not sure. We rolled a 6 anyway, so it wouldn't really have mattered. We'll let that one go. Stunned logistics is going to be able to help the HQ there, so they do recover to stunned. Special Ops is going to shoot at the warrior, the one that's not dormant. Rolls a 6, it's vaporized despite the terrain. He fired before. Shall we shoot and scoop? Is it worth shooting and scooting now? Got to roll 4 dice, hitting 5s or 6s to try and move that one. Even with the extra benefit of being adjacent, probably not worth it in the long run. Let's carry on to the alien's turn. Actually, let's withdraw before we do that. 1, 2. Now we can hopefully benefit from some support. Although this HQ is now, the Marine is now sat on top of the reinforcements. We'll have to move that one before requiring any more reinforcements. Okay, aliens. Alien rush, numbers 8 to 12. So 11, we only have two that are applicable. As before, they will move to the nearest unit and they will fight. Except, of course, he's dormant, so he will just simply flip over. He will move to that Marine and throw 5 die, 6 die, actually, because of being adjacent. So let's roll those. Roll the 6th one. Oh wow, tons of hits. Instantly paralysed. Which is problematic because it's now blocked our reinforcement space also. Oh dear. Okay, straighten up everybody. I'm not sure we should have moved that Marine. Probably a terrible idea thinking about it. Anyway, let's try and get that scout across. We finally rolled a 4. Okay, the scout is gone. We are 1 unit towards our victory. The next person to try and escape is going to be this scout, but we have to be on the space to do it. He's also going to move to try and add that buff next turn. The HQ is going to get healed. The recon unit next to him is going to get healed. The heavy weapons unit up there does not get healed. Spec Ops will shoot at that Overlord though. Rolls a 3, which beams the Overlord someplace else. 426. Where's 426? Oh no, right next to this Marine. It's terrible. So the Marine is going to shoot 5 die. 4 for his baseline, 1 for being adjacent, but -1 for firing into a building, so back to 4. And he's got nothing, didn't even scratch the alien. Heavy weapons is going to make a move 1, well, half a point, 1 point. And Spec Ops is going to shoot at him. No, Spec Ops is going to shoot at him, kill the alien Overlord with a 5, and that is vaporized. Outstanding. So the alien Overlord is vaporized, and we take a mission chit, remove it. Okay, so that's 2 of a possible 6 mission chits removed. There'll always be 1 left at the end. You can't ever remove them all, but we can see how we get on. Okay. Aliens. Right, we have got about halfway through. And we have got warp jump, odd numbers. And what the warp jump does is you basically pick the odd numbers up and you place them somewhere else based on a random hex. And if you land on somebody, they die. So here's an odd number, here's an odd number. I'll place them someplace else. So the first one, the Overlord, the Warrior is going to go to 661. 661, just there. And the Overlord is 526. 526, just there. Okay, that is the end of that action. Marines again. Let's try and get that other scout unit through with the buff this time. No. So we roll again for the buff. No. The paralysed unit is going to try to rally. The other paralysed unit, yep, he is now stunned. Finally he can do something, but not this turn. Spec Ops is going to shoot at the Overlord. Rolls a 6, vaporised. Vaporised. We'll take a random chit. Remove it. This Spec Ops is going to get a little bit closer to the action, I think, and he's going to try to jump to 563 using his jetpack. So rolls a 2, which is appalling, and so he ends up in 564, being the nearest largest hex, largest numbered hex. HQ feels like we need to get some reinforcements in. Let's get reinforcements in. Roll a 6, and Marine Squad is going to come in on landing zone 1, which I think is 522. Is it 522? Let me double check the scenario. I think it was 522. Yeah, 522. Right. Okay, aliens. And we have got phase shift depolarizer. So same thing, but rather than being paralyzed, you're stunned, as in the same thing as the phase shift nullifier. It is a stunned result instead of a paralyzed result. So 523 lands here. Everybody within 4 is stunned. Ouch. 1, 2, 3, and 4. At least they're still active. They can't rally this turn. But that's okay, because they will be able to rally after that, as long as nothing else too horrible happens to them. Straighten up. Okay, get the scout through the wormhole. Nope. With the buff. Yes. The scout is through. That's 2. Although it does mean we can no longer recon, and we do need to find somebody else to get through that wormhole. Damn. Let's get the spec ops. Him. He's going to jump. It was a 6. Means we can go to the place we want to. Straight to the wormhole. Spec ops is going to shoot number 11. Rolls a 5. Vaporizes it. I think we're good. That will do for now. So we will take another alien chit. And this time we have bug out. So bug out means that a certain number of aliens leave. Yep. Aliens adjacent to an active marine leave. There isn't any that qualify, or there aren't any that qualify. So next turn, the depolarizer comes off the board. And let's try and get that spec ops guy out of the building, because if we do, that is game over. Oh, let's try. Fingers crossed for a 4. No, 7. No, that was an 8 the second time. Try to recover that marine, paralysed marine. No. Stunned. No. 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 But he does give a buff to him. Yes. My entire force has spent time recovering this turn. And finally we'll just shoot special ops at the guy here and vaporize that. Excellent. Aliens. I played this recently and the aliens beat me through their pull of their mission sheet at the end. It was most frustrating, but anyway, drop pods, and here we roll a die, and that number of aliens land. Let's see how many we get, and we get 4 aliens land. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's roll 3 dice. 2, 5, 5, and he lands there. Next one, 1, 3, 5. Is at the top there. 1, 6, 5. There. Oh, they're landing miles away. Okay, last one. Fingers crossed we haven't jinxed it. 2, 5, 4. Nope, he can't go there. I'll remind myself what happens. Eligible adjacent X, highest number. There we go. Well, that's actually not so bad. All those aliens arrived a long way from where We are, which is good. Okay, the Marines. Get that special operations guy out of the building. Supported by the HQ. Do it right, say it in advance. Rolled a 3 the first time. Rolled a 6 the second time. That's no good. So let's try to rally the paralysed unit. No. And then we'll move through the stunned unit. So the first one, yes. That's good. And then the next one, no. One at the bottom, 6, he's rallied. And then the stunned unit there, which I think is the logistics, rallies with a 6. And we're pretty much up to full strength. Shoot the bump gun, but he's out of range, so we'll jump to 252. Rubbish. 252, but we malfunction, so we'll go to 316. That's all my units used. I think aliens. Shut down. Odd numbers shut down unless they're within 3 of a monolith. But there isn't a monolith, so odd numbers close down. And we have just the one odd number. But it's closed down. Every little helps, as they say. Straighten everybody up. And Marines go again, trying to get through that wormhole. Rolled a 3. Buff. Rolled a 7. Try and rally that paralysed unit. No. The bump gun at him. Rolled a 1. Oh no, malfunction. Out of ammo. Won't do anything with him. Those two have been heavy weapons will fire through the rough at the dormant aliens. So that's 4 because of the, he's normally a 5 but reduced for the rough. So 4 at the active alien, which is going to need 4, 5 or 6. And he rolls 1 hit. So the alien gets one of these tokens. Oh no, not that one. No, what was that one? I get my right. So manifestation token is a 4. His resistance has gone up. And I believe, unless I choose to move him, which I might, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the half point movements on the roads. Everyone else rallied, I think it was that turn. Aliens. Okay, we're nearly out of tokens. It's going to be endgame soon. Terror from Beyond. Another one where we draw a second chit. This is where having those recon scouts is helpful, but sadly we are not. Anyway, Terror from Beyond. Every Marine unit adjacent to an active alien or within 3 of a monolith is paralysed. Not applicable because nobody is next to an adjacent Marine. However, we do draw that second chit. Hastening the end. We have warp jump, even numbers, which is basically everybody. So that one. Do some crazy moving around now. Oh, the one that had 4 flips to active. Flips to active. I suppose it's not very helpful having my arm across the screen. It flips down this way. That's a 3, so he's not applicable. Right, so the 12s go first. And the first one rolls 3, 5, 6. 3, 5, 6 is bottom right there. And we landed adjacent to a Marine. So if they're landed on hexes adjacent to a Marine, the Marine is made stunned, or if stunned, paralysed. Maximum of 1 unit affected that way per alien. We either paralyse our Marine or we stun our heavy weapons. I think we'll probably be stunning our heavy weapons. Next unit to land is landing on 414. And 414 is... where is 414? Oh, over there. The next one is 553. 553 is down the bottom near the lava. Last one is 322. 322 is escaping me. Oh, the forest up here again. Okay. Marine's turn. I'm running out of time. We've only got a few tokens left. So that means we're running out of time rapidly. Let's try and get special ops through. And we've rolled a 10 with the buff. There's a 9. That's terrible. Try to rally that paralysed guy again. Nope. Spec Ops over there is out of ammo. So let's try and jump him here next to the logistics, which we do, but he scatters to nearby. They can't shoot across the lava, but these guys can shoot. Okay, so he's rolling 5 dice as standard, minus 1 for being stunned, but plus the 1 for being adjacent, so 5 die, aiming 4, 5s and 6s. Nope. Oh no, he's out of ammo as well. Rolled 2 1s. Finally hit that out of ammo result, so the heavy weapons is not only stunned, he is now out of ammo. Marine Corps guy is going to fire. He's just firing 3 because he's stunned. No good there. I think I'll try and use the reinforcements ability of the HQ to land another logistics unit. No, nothing happens. Okay, and that will be the alien's turn. Okay, we have pulled Alien Frenzy. This doesn't sound good, does it? Alien Frenzy is 2 dice, add them together. 12. Every alien whose ID equals that number is activated, increasing their combat factor by 2, conducting an immediate attack against the nearest Marine. If at least 1 chaos unit is activated, the player repeats until no aliens are activated via roll. Okay, that's uncool. He's activated, increasing his combat factor from 4 to 6. And they're adjacent, so that's going to be 7 die, hitting on a 4. Okay, so that's 1 hit. Roll again. 2 hits. Paralysed Marine. Is there another one with a 12 on it? Here. Cannot shoot through lava, so he's not going to go. He's going to attack the Spec Ops guy there with 5 die, because he starts on a base of 3 with 1 hit. So we have a stunned special operations unit. We activated at least 1 alien, so we roll 2 die, rolling a total of 4. And if an alien is activated, we start again. There's a 4 there, so we shoot through to that alien, that chap, with 7 die. Oh wow, he's totally stunned. I'm moving to paralysed, and there's one with 4 up there, but he's going to fire into the heavy weapons, moving through a strong point and through a building, which is going to reduce it by 2, so basically he's firing at his baseline, I believe. Wow, 2 6s, he is stunned, and a 4, no, just 2 6s, he's stunned. Okay, roll 2 die, sum the total again, rolling an 8. We do have this one activated, but he can't shoot anything, so I think that's where we stop. Let me just double check. Energy folio. No combat is conducted, but we keep going because we did activate him. And we rolled a 4, so the 4's got again. They can't hit. He shoots down there with 4 dice. That one fires again. And we can repeat. Stunned. So we roll the 2 die again. This time we rolled 7. There are no overlords on the board, and that is where we stop. That's a pretty devastating attack there from the Chaos. Right. Let's straighten everybody up. Attempt for what is probably going to be the penultimate time to get that special operations guy out of the wormhole. I need to roll a 4. Oops, dropped something there. I need to roll a 4. We've rolled an 8. Buff. We've rolled a 7. That's not good. He's going to move. Logistics is going to get his ammo back. I don't think I've got anywhere near enough aliens killed in order to win if I have to go to the point. So let's go. Let's try. What should we try? Let's just try to recover those 2 units, I think. One is recovered, one is not. It's not really much point shooting and scooting. Could try and bring in that logistics unit. Let's try and use the HQ to bring in logistics. We've rolled a 3. That's fine. We'll bring the logistics unit in. Hope we don't end up placing him miles away. Oh, 1. Oh, great. So that is going to be miles away. But he can at least move. So 1, 2. If he try, no, he can try and rally with the +2 buff minus the 1 for being next to an alien. And he is going to be okay because he rolled a 5. So he's now simply stunned. Try and cover the other one. Yes. Rolled a 6, which is fine. So he's now simply stunned. And then it's the alien's turn. And we have just 2 chits left. So penultimate turn for the aliens. We've got a alien rush again. This time numbers 2 through 6. So alien rush, they move to the nearest unit. So that's this one. He's dormant, so he's flipped. He moves to the nearest unit. He moves to the nearest unit. And then they attack. So that one's going to be 6 dice against this already stunned unit. That's not good odds, is it? So I'll find that die that flew somewhere. Not the camera, so roll for that number. And again, 1 wound. He is back to being paralysed. And then finally, this one. 5 die against the stunned Marine. And he's got a 4. So no wounds, my goodness. No wounds, excellent, he survived. So the Marines make their final last ditch attempt to get off the planet of the, I can't remember the name, actually I was thinking of Space Vermin, where they have a named planet. We're going to get off the planet and out of here into the aliens' home dimension. So we've got to roll that 4 and we'll buff them. That's a 12, that's terrible. And we've rolled a 7. So we're going to not win an overwhelming victory. We're going to have to go down to the minor victories if the Chaos do not win first. My goodness me. Okay, so he was here. We'll shoot, I think. Rolling 4 die. Here's a 4 baseline, minus the 1 for being stunned, plus the 1 for being adjacent. And does nothing at all, not even a single hit. Special ops there is stunned. He's going to shoot across there to try and hit or kill. No, he's malfunctioned. He's back to stunned, flipping it over then to paralysed. That's not good. 4, 5 die against 4 die. The Marines against the aliens there. 5s and 6s. Again stunned, and that nullify each other. Oh, we've got a 5 and a 6, but only one of each, so not helpful. Try and stop some of our units being paralysed. He will be not recovered. Him is not recovered. The other one is recovered remarkably. He was a 6, so does get recovered. And I think that is that. So, last alien activation. And we have energy volley 2 to 6. So basically everyone with 2 and 6 shoots. Which is going to be this one with 5 die for being adjacent. Wow, 3 6s. He is paralysed. This one, 6 die for being adjacent. And would you believe that is 2 4s, 2 5s, and a 3, which means he is also paralysed. He will shoot at 3 die for being shooting towards a building. And he's got a 6, a 4, and a 3, which means 1 hit. Any more for any more? We're done. Okay, that is the end of the game. We need to check for the victory conditions now. We did not win a victory, so now we draw from the remaining mission chits. I pull a number, one of these at random, and then we check to see how well the chaos have done. And we've got a mission of interdimensional portal. What does that mean? A secret interdimensional. Okay, this is interesting. It says if there is a monolith, then basically there's a portal and they win. If there's an overlord and no active marine within 3 hexes, they win. There's no monolith and no overlord, the chaos cannot win. There's no monolith and there's no overlord, the chaos cannot win. So we're down to our victory conditions for the minor placings then. So, a decisive victory if the marine player has successfully warped 2 units, which we have. Warped 2 units. So we have a decisive victory. Excellent. That is better than I thought, given the state of the board at the end. That's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So, that is a decisive victory. Yeah, a decisive victory. Fantastic. Anyway, that was Invaders from Dimension X. I played through it quite quickly. It is a short game. It's very quick to play. Probably wouldn't have taken so long if I hadn't been talking all the way through it. It's a lot of fun. It's very random. Deliberately designed to be very random. The chaos units move in a very chaotic way. And it's a lot of fun. I thoroughly recommend having a go. Obviously this is print and play. Your own print and play version or your retail copy will probably be better than this one in terms of the wonky units and so on. Anyway, I hope that's been enough for you to get a feel for the game, decide whether or not you'd like it. I would suggest this is a game ideally suited to anyone who wants a light-hearted introduction to hex and counter games. It has most of the central components of hex and counter, but without some of the fiddliness that can creep in to those games when you have different unit types, different gun types, all the rest of it. Anyway, I've been Neil. It's been Diagonal Move. Please do check out the website. This game was designed by Hermann Luttmann, who has had an interview for the website in the past, and he's also done a design article for the website as well. So please check that out as well. In the meantime, happy gaming, and I'll see you next week.